I think the negative is people might call you an art whore, and excuse the language, but I think if you're not creating your own passionate, thoughts in art, people think you're not a true artist. We have our own work, but we also work with architects and designers. And I think some artists, I've heard this personally, they think you're selling out if you open a retail store, or if you sell in a gallery, or if you create something that's not your own. That's, I think, their version of selling out. To me, it's the difference between a starving artist and a successful business. I'm Brad Oldham.
And I'm Christy Coltrane.
Together, my wife and I, we run Brad Oldham Sculpture here in downtown Dallas. I think the perception of an artist is that you sit in a back room by yourself and you come up with these thoughts, and then you are so passionate about it you can't do anything else until you create that.
We definitely do not work in a vacuum.
We collaborate between the two of us, we collaborate with our clients. Everything is about working together. And I think that's a big difference in that we work as a team. Not that other artists aren't team players, but the fact that we understand the engineering and the production and the time schedules, and we deliver in budget and on time, is a big part of why we get the jobs that we get. Yeah, when I first started with sculpture, the mantra was, don't touch this. You can only look, you have to stay behind the ropes. And one thing I really like about what we do is changing that perception, making it where you can go climb on a piece, you can go sit at the base of it, you can sit on top of it, you can make it your own and become a part of this artwork. The Traveling Man series was originally called the Deep Ellum Gateway Project.
The musicality of the piece coming out in the shape of the Traveling Man's head, and I think the openness in his cavity is his welcoming, his outstretched hand to visitors is another welcoming sign, but he's a pretty big guy. He's 38 feet tall. It's a little different for the Traveling Man waiting on a train because you can climb on him. And that's one of the things about when Brad makes a sculpture. You can climb on it, you can sit, you can engage. There's nothing precious or fragile about what he does. It's when we put a sculpture out there, we want it to become part of the community. So when we see the Traveling Man on the t-shirt at the pizza shop, when we see the Traveling Man in a mural in Deep Ellum, that's an honor.
When your artwork helps shape a community or a city or a development, it's one of those things that in the back of your mind, you always want that. You don't always hit the mark on it, but the Traveling Man for us has been one of those things that has just gone well beyond any of our imaginations.
No, when I first met Brad, he was definitely making unique items. He could see what needed to be made and figure out a way to make it. I was pretty impressed. Whether it was a bed, a door handle, a ring, he could really make anything.
Christy was the director of marketing at Park Place Dealerships and was very busy all the time. And when the opportunity came up for us to work together, it was a big loss of income from that side, but it was a decision that we made just to be a little bit better as a family. That's the opportunity we took, and that was our leap of faith. If you don't support each other, then it doesn't work. Not just the marriage, but the business. It's just two of us here. We have a few employees, but if the garbage needs emptying, it's us. We just work a lot.
No, we just work.
Yeah, so our business, when we first got together, was in a really small little 2,800 square foot space over off Highline. And we weren't really set up for any kind of retail or even as a showroom. So we found the opportunity, being downtown, to have a retail space. Another leap of faith we took. We've been down here a year, and we're exploring our way through this retail world. We're still finding our path, and I think that's one thing that entrepreneurs do well, is they start and stop and redirect. Our business is very different from your regular art galleries in that I think some of the, I don't mean to offend, but the hoity-toityness of a gallery, they don't even have price tags on things most of the time. It's about engagement, and the reason they do that engagement is so that they can tell you the story. But our stories are here, our price tag's out too. Signage was really a difficult thing, working out the right signs, where it's visible and functions for what you are and who you are, and so it had to be special. So anyway, what we decided to do was create a sculpture, and we put it in the skyline of Dallas. So we created Skaterbird.
Skaterbird is a sculpture that's 22 feet tall on top of our building, and for us it's the leap of faith that we had from moving downtown. When we saw Skaterbird on top of our building, we thought, and let's do something where we can create a sense of community in this downtown Dallas neighborhood we're in. Short story is it became an event called D-Town Throwdown, where Skaterbird is the heart of it, and we had 5,000 people down here on a Saturday doing action sports in something that will be an annual event in downtown Dallas that began and started with the Skaterbird sculpture.
When people look back on the legacy and what we did here in Dallas, I'd like them to think that we had a little fun with what we did.
Since we're artists that own a business, we have a very entrepreneurial side to us and a heart to what we do. And Dallas is the city that supports that kind of work.
When I get to thinking about and listing all the sculptures that we have in Dallas, one, it always makes me a little bit in awe that we've had the opportunity to do those. And then on the back end of it, I feel very honored to have had those opportunities and a little bit humbled that those pieces are going to be here, for a long time. It's a really good feeling to know that you've helped make an impact in a community, in a city, and for lack of a better word, help shape it. I don't think many people get that opportunity.